Garlic is one of the most powerful foods in your kitchen, but for some people over 50, using it the wrong way can quietly increase the risk of internal bleeding, dangerous medication interactions, digestive damage, and in rare cases, even medical emergencies. And the frightening part is this: most people making these mistakes believe they're doing something healthy. I'm Dr. Richard Vance, and today we're going to talk about the 6 most dangerous garlic mistakes I see adults make after 50, including one mistake that becomes especially risky if you take common heart or blood pressure medications. Because garlic is not just food anymore once it starts changing chemistry inside the body. And what happens next matters more than most people realize. Garlic has been used for thousands of years. Ancient civilizations used it for stamina, infections, circulation, and healing. And modern research has found something fascinating.
When garlic is chopped or crushed, it creates sulfur compounds that become biologically active inside the body. One of the most studied is called allicin. Allicin is part of garlic's natural defense system. But inside the human body, it may influence inflammation, blood vessel function, circulation, oxidative stress, and even immune signaling. That's why garlic became so popular among adults trying to support heart health naturally. And in many ways, that interest makes sense. Research suggests garlic may help support healthy blood pressure, improve vascular function, and reduce certain inflammatory signals linked to aging. But here's where the story changes. The exact same chemistry that may help the body in moderate amounts can become dangerous when misunderstood, exaggerated, or combined with the wrong medications, especially after 50. Because aging changes the body's resilience. Blood vessels become more fragile. Recovery slows down. Digestion changes. Medication use increases. Liver function and kidney reserve may decline. And suddenly something natural can behave very differently than expected. Which brings us to the first and most dangerous mistake. Mistake number 1. Combining garlic with blood-thinning medications without realizing the interaction. This is the section I want every older adult watching carefully. Garlic naturally has what's called antiplatelet activity. That means it may reduce the ability of platelets, the tiny blood cells involved in clotting, to stick together. Now, under certain circumstances, that may support circulation. But if you already take medications that thin the blood, the combination may become risky. And millions of adults over 50 do. Medications like warfarin, aspirin, clopidogrel, apixaban, rivaroxaban, and similar drugs are commonly prescribed to reduce stroke and heart attack risk.
But when large amounts of garlic, especially concentrated supplements or heavy raw garlic intake, are added on top of those medications, bleeding risk may increase. And this is where people get caught off guard. Because the bruising doesn't always happen immediately. Sometimes it starts subtly. Easy bruising, bleeding gums, nosebleeds, longer bleeding from small cuts, dark stools, dizziness, unusual fatigue. And many people never connect those symptoms back to garlic because they think, it's just food. But biologically, food can still change physiology, especially concentrated foods, especially supplements, and especially in aging bodies already under medication management. This becomes even more important before surgery. Many physicians recommend limiting high garlic intake prior to procedures because excessive bleeding during surgery becomes a legitimate concern. And this is where the misunderstanding becomes dangerous. People hear that garlic is good for the heart and assume more must be better. But biology rarely works that way. The body depends on balance, Too little clotting is dangerous, too much clotting is dangerous, and after 50, maintaining that balance becomes increasingly delicate. But blood thinning is only part of the story, because mistake number 2 affects something millions of older adults already struggle with: the digestive system. Eating excessive amounts of raw garlic. Now let me be very clear. Small to moderate amounts of garlic used in food are tolerated well by many people. But some adults begin consuming large quantities of raw garlic every day because they read online that raw garlic is medicine. And this is where problems begin. Raw garlic contains highly reactive sulfur compounds that can irritate the lining of the digestive tract, especially the stomach and esophagus. And as we age, the digestive lining often becomes more sensitive, not less.
Which means the same raw garlic habit tolerated at 30 may suddenly cause problems at 60 or 70. People begin noticing burning in the chest, acid reflux, stomach pain, bloating, nausea, cramping, even worsening gastritis symptoms. And the mechanism matters here. Garlic compounds can stimulate digestive secretions and irritate already inflamed tissue. In sensitive individuals, this becomes like pouring fuel onto an existing fire. And chronic, low-grade inflammation is already more common with aging. So instead of supporting health, excessive raw garlic may increase physical stress in vulnerable digestive systems. This is especially important for people with GERD, stomach ulcers, BIS, digestive inflammation, or medication-related stomach irritation. And here's what most people never get told. Many of garlic's potential benefits do not require extreme doses. Moderation matters, consistency matters, and preparation matters far more than people realize. Which leads directly into mistake number 3. Swallowing whole garlic cloves like pills. I've seen people do this, believing it creates a stronger medicinal effect. But in older adults, this can become genuinely dangerous. First, whole cloves create a choking hazard, and swallowing mechanics often change with age, especially in people with neurological conditions, reduced saliva production, dental problems, or prior strokes. A large, slippery garlic clove can obstruct the airway surprisingly easily. But even beyond choking risk, there's another problem. Whole garlic cloves may not properly activate allicin. Remember earlier when we talked about garlic's chemistry? The beneficial compound allicin is not fully present in intact garlic. It forms after garlic is crushed, chopped, or damaged. That physical breakdown activates an enzyme reaction. So ironically, swallowing whole cloves may reduce the very biological activity people are trying to achieve, which means they may increase choking risk, without even getting the effect they expected. And this is where the garlic conversation becomes more interesting. Because mistake number 4 actually destroys some of garlic's active compounds before they ever reach your body. Cooking garlic incorrectly. Most people throw garlic straight into high heat immediately after chopping it. But high temperatures can rapidly deactivate the enzyme responsible for allicin formation. And this is one of the most fascinating little details in nutrition science. If you crush or chop garlic and immediately expose it to high heat, you may significantly reduce formation of some of its most studied compounds. But if you let chopped garlic rest for about 5 to 10 minutes before cooking, something different happens. That waiting period allows more of the enzyme reaction to occur before heat exposure. In simple terms, the chemistry has time to activate. This tiny preparation step may preserve more biological activity. And it's such a simple adjustment. No expensive supplements, no extreme diets, no miracle cure.
just understanding how biology actually works. But now we need to talk about one of the biggest misconceptions in the entire supplement industry. Mistake number 5. Assuming garlic supplements are automatically safe because they're sold over the counter. This is where many adults unknowingly cross from food into concentrated pharmacology, because supplements are not identical to fresh garlic. Some contain aged garlic extract, some contain garlic oil, some contain dehydrated powders, some contain highly concentrated sulfur compounds, and potency varies dramatically between products. That means two people may both say they're taking garlic while exposing their bodies to completely different chemical concentrations. And concentrated extracts may increase the risk of medication interactions, digestive irritation, bleeding complications, and, in rare cases, liver stress, especially when combined with multiple supplements at once. This is incredibly common after 50. People begin layering fish oil, turmeric, garlic, vitamin E, ginkgo, aspirin, all believing they're supporting heart health naturally, without realizing many of these compounds may influence clotting simultaneously. And this creates what I call the silent stacking effect. Each product alone may seem harmless, but together they can amplify physiological effects inside the body, and the danger often builds quietly. That's why it's so important to tell your physician about supplements, not because garlic is inherently bad, but because interactions matter, dose matters, context matters, and aging physiology changes the equation. But the final mistake concerns me most of all, because this is the mistake that delays treatment during serious medical conditions. Mistake number 6. Using garlic instead of medical care.
This is where good intentions become dangerous. Some people begin believing garlic can replace treatment for serious disease because they hear claims online like, "Garlic cures infections," "Garlic replaces blood pressure medication," "Garlic clears arteries," "Garlic melts away disease." But this is where we need medical reality. Garlic may support healthier biological function. It may support circulation. It may support vascular health. It may support healthier inflammatory balance. But support is not the same as treatment. Garlic cannot reopen a blocked coronary artery during a heart attack. It cannot replace insulin when blood sugar becomes dangerously uncontrolled. It cannot reliably treat pneumonia. It cannot stop a stroke already in progress. And this becomes emotionally important because many adults delay care while trying to manage serious symptoms naturally at home. Chest pain, sudden weakness, difficulty speaking, shortness of breath, severe infections, black stools, confusion. Those symptoms require medical evaluation immediately. And this is where I want to say something very clearly. Natural foods can absolutely play a role in healthier aging. I strongly believe nutrition matters. But responsible medicine is not about choosing between nature and science. It's about understanding how they work together intelligently. That's the real goal. And garlic, when used wisely, can absolutely be part of that picture. For many adults, moderate culinary garlic intake may support overall cardiovascular and metabolic health as part of a balanced lifestyle, especially alongside exercise, sleep, blood sugar control, stress management, protein intake, and anti-inflammatory eating patterns. But the key is respecting the biology, not exaggerating it, not abusing it, and not assuming natural automatically means harmless. Because after 50,
Small mistakes can produce much larger consequences. So here's the practical takeaway. If you enjoy garlic, you do not need to fear it. But use it wisely. Crush or chop it properly. Avoid excessive intake. Be cautious with supplements. Watch for medication interactions. Talk with your healthcare provider if you take blood thinners. And never replace urgent medical care with internet remedies. That approach is far safer, far smarter, and far more consistent with what the science actually suggests. I'm Dr. Richard Vance, and if you found this video helpful, let me know down in the comments. Do you usually eat garlic raw, cooked, or as a supplement? And have you ever heard any garlic remedies passed down through your family? I read those comments carefully. Make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone over 50 who believes natural remedies are always harmless. Because sometimes the healthiest foods become dangerous for one simple reason. Nobody explained the biology behind them.